In December of 2004, a quiet, small town in Missouri was rocked by a crime so brutal, so deeply personal, that it sent a wave of shock across the entire nation. A young, pregnant woman was murdered in the safety of her own home. Her unborn child stolen from her womb. This is the chilling true story of Bobbie Jo Stinnett. Bobbie Jo Stinnett was just 23 years old, living a peaceful life in Skidmore, Missouri, with her husband Zeb. Everyone who knew her described her the same way: kind, incredibly trusting, and absolutely beaming with excitement about becoming a mother for the first time. She was 8 months pregnant, and the arrival of her baby girl was only a few short weeks away. Like many people, Bobbie Jo had found a community online. She was passionate about breeding rat terriers and connected with other ham enthusiasts through internet forums and message boards. It was in this digital space, a place of shared hobbies and friendly chats, that she made a connection that would prove to be fatal. In the weeks leading up to that terrible day, Bobbie Jo had been communicating regularly with a woman named Lisa Montgomery. Lisa, from Kansas, claimed she was also pregnant. And the two quickly bonded over their shared experiences: dog's pregnancy and the little details of everyday life. They built what seemed like a genuine friendship. On December 16, 2004, Lisa Montgomery drove from Kansas to Skidmore, Missouri, and arrived at Bobbie Jo's front door. She came alone. She was welcomed inside without a hint of suspicion. And she came with a horrifying, premeditated plan. What happened next, inside that small house, is almost too gruesome to comprehend. Lisa Montgomery attacked Bobbie Jo. She strangled her until she was unconscious. Then, in an act of unimaginable violence, she used a kitchen knife to crudely cut the unborn baby from Bobbie Jo's womb. Bobbie Jo was left to die on her living room floor. The killer then took the newborn infant and fled. There was no sign of a robbery, no evidence of a random break-in. This was a targeted, meticulously planned assault with a single, terrifying goal. A short time later, Bobbie Jo's mother, Becky Harper, arrived at the house, expecting to see her daughter. Instead, she walked into a scene of pure horror. She found Bobbie Jo's lifeless body and immediately called for help. First responders arrived to a crime scene that was unlike anything they had ever encountered. It quickly became clear that this wasn't just a homicide, it was something far more disturbing. An Amber Alert was immediately issued for the missing baby girl. A desperate, nationwide call to find her before it was too late. The clock was ticking. The investigation moved at lightning speed. Law enforcement traced the killer's digital footprints, connecting the online persona Darlene Fisher to Lisa Montgomery. Less than 24 hours after the murder, police tracked Montgomery to her home in Melbourne, Kansas. There, they found her cradling a newborn baby, claiming the infant was her own. She had even called her husband to come home, announcing she'd had the baby. But her story quickly fell apart. At the hospital, medical staff immediately recognized that Lisa showed no physical signs of having just given birth. The truth was undeniable. DNA testing swiftly confirmed what investigators already suspected. The baby was not hers. The infant was the biological daughter of Bobbie Jo and Zeb Stinnett. Lisa Montgomery was arrested on the spot. Miraculously, the baby, who would later be named Victoria Jo, was found alive and healthy. She was carefully reunited with her grieving father and family. Once in custody, Montgomery's facade crumbled. She confessed to the entire crime. She admitted that she had faked her pregnancy, just as she had faked several pregnancies in the years prior, fooling her own family and community. She confessed that she had identified Bobbie Jo online, carefully planned the trip to her home, and went there with the sole intention of killing her and stealing her baby. The murder wasn't an impulsive act of rage. It was a calculated, cold-blooded execution of a plan she had been developing for weeks. The case was prosecuted in the federal court system because it involved kidnapping across state lines. Prosecutors painted a picture of a cunning, cruel predator who meticulously planned every detail of the crime. They described the attack as calculated and brutal, arguing that Montgomery knew exactly what she was doing. The defense, however, presented a very different narrative. They detailed Lisa Montgomery's horrific life story, a life filled with relentless physical and emotional abuse and trauma from a very young age. Expert witnesses testified that she suffered from severe, complex mental illnesses, including bipolar disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and pseudopsoriasis, or phantom pregnancy. They argued that her lifetime of trauma had shattered her mind, leaving her unable to distinguish right from wrong in a legal sense. But the jury was not swayed by the defense's arguments. They found Lisa Montgomery guilty of kidnapping, resulting in death. In 2007, a federal judge handed down the sentence, death. What followed were years of legal battles and appeals. Montgomery's lawyers continued to fight her sentence, centering their arguments on her severe mental illness and the traumatic abuse she had endured. The case became a focal point for debates on capital punishment, mental health in the justice system, and the morality of executing a woman so profoundly damaged. Public opinion remained sharply divided. For some, the sheer brutality of the crime demanded the ultimate punishment. For others, executing someone with such a documented history of severe mental illness was a failure of the system. After more than a decade of appeals, her fate was sealed. In January of 2021, Lisa Montgomery was executed by lethal injection at the federal prison in Terre Haute, Indiana. She was the first woman to be executed by the United States federal government in nearly 70 years. The legacy of this horrific crime is complex and heartbreaking. Bobbie Jo Stinnett's family was left to navigate unimaginable grief, while also raising a child who would one day have to learn the violent, tragic truth of her birth. Victoria Jo Stinnett survived, a testament to resilience in the face of unspeakable darkness. Raised by a father who lost everything, the case forced a national conversation on several critical issues. It was a wake-up call about the potential dangers of online interactions and the false sense of security we can feel when connecting with people we've never met. It highlighted the deep, often hidden struggles of those with severe mental illness and raised difficult questions about how our society and our legal system should respond. And it reignited the fierce, ongoing debate about capital punishment in America. But all the legal arguments and societal debates could never change the fundamental tragedy. They could never bring Bobbie Jo back. The murder of Bobbie Jo Stinnett wasn't just another true crime story. It was a profound betrayal of trust, a violation of the most sacred bond between a mother and her child. It serves as a chilling reminder that danger doesn't always lurk in dark alleys or come from a stranger's face in a crowd. Sometimes, it arrives at your front door with a familiar smile and a shared conversation. Bobbie Jo Stinnett was a daughter, a wife, and an expectant mother filled with hope and joy. Her story deserves to be remembered, not for the monster who took her life, but for the beautiful, trusting soul that she was. Thank you for watching. If you found this story important, please like this video and subscribe for more content that matters.